lovely people. Welcome back to another episode of us exploring the lore of the game. I thought there would be stars. We are here again with Jay, our marvelous founder, and me, the comms person, Florence. We can switch to Jeffries now. So he grew up on an Arthurian planet. So I think the best we can describe them is to say that they are a bit the pantry of the galaxy, because this is where you have like the more rural planets or satellites and yeah, so they got the brain for everybody.
Sort of, yeah. It's one of those
Yeah.
things where the galaxy is a big place. There are a lot of people there, and some of them don't really agree with the more centralized culture of things. So rather than kicking up a stink or anything, they just kind of take their community and leave. They just go
Yeah,
and
because
find
there's
a
space to
planet.
do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They bugger off, find a plot of land, a planet, stake their claim on it, and go, we live here now. We are these people, which results in...
There's no legal problem.
There are legal setups for that. Usually someone will approach them afterwards and be like, hey, just want to check you're not doing atrocities out here, and this isn't like a secret supervillain base or something. And beyond that, they're kind of left to their own devices to govern themselves.
So a bit like what we could see in the States with like Hamish or Mormon communities. Like they do their own thing. They're living a bit outside of the society.
With more or less sort of religious extremism going on. These are sometimes just people who like didn't want to live in a more fast-paced galactic society, and then just took a bunch of people that were kind of like them and went, fuck it, we're gonna go and farm. Which
so either on a planet or a moon, right?
Yeah, usually a planet or a moon that supports them. There are sort of governmental procedures along with this where if it's like a small moon that nobody has any real claim to, they can apply to the Alliance and say, hi, we're wanting to sort of go for this, and they're, all right, we can set you up with some terraforming equipment, make this thing like livable, and give you a place to live. So there are ways of doing this, but it has its ups and its downs. Like on the one hand, they tend to live a life free of a lot of big governmental oversight, but on the downside, there tends to be a lot less high-tech stuff going on and a lot less mixing between species, if only because these cultural groups tend to be very monospecies, and then don't...
They don't really tend to travel once they're settled, right?
Like they settle,
so even though... so even if they settle on a planet, like for example Earth size roughly, they won't move much. Like they will stay in like the same continent, the same geographical area.
By and large, yes. These are homesteads.
So this is what happens with Jeffries' community. Is he on the moon or a planet?
I'm gonna say Jeffries grew up on a moon. He grew up on a small moon. Basically, he is like the archetypical backcountry farm boy with big dreams. Because what essentially happened to him was he was born on this moon. Like his family had lived there for a couple of generations. It was a farming community, peaceful, happy. They did trade with some other planets, being like, hey, we've grown a shitload of grain. Do you want it in exchange for other stuff? So they kind of survived like that. It's a very simple life. And Jeffries always had like the bigger dream. He was the starry-eyed kid looking up at the sky and wondering what's out there. So when a ship landed for sort of a delivery, like a trade, he just kind of got on it.
Sneak on it.
Fully stowed away. Full on stowed away. And nobody noticed him until they were like 2 days into the journey, at which point they kind of couldn't turn back and be like, I mean, we got this kid on board, and he's stowed away, but also, like, he's a good kid. I don't want to turn him over to the cops. Do you want to turn him over to the cops? I don't want to turn him over to the cops. Fuck
But
it,
what
give him a
about the
uniform.
parents?
Fuck it, give him. We can't go back to the parents. Like, fuck it, give him a uniform, give him a job. You work here now, boy. And it just so
Yeah,
happened that
I'm
was
pretty sure. I'm pretty sure, knowing Jeffries, that he would have left a, not really a proper letter, but more like doodles saying like, "Hey, I'm going, I'm
yeah,
going on
he would have
a."
left a drawing of him getting on a space rocket and flying away.
Yeah, with like sneaky style with a loaf of bread and a block of cheese. That's it.
Basically, yeah, because that was kind of how they found him. Was he ran out of food, and
Yeah.
they caught him sneaking around and be like, "How the hell did you get? We are 2 days into deep space. How did you get here?"
Yeah, because I guess growing up he was fed on stories brought up by strangers and maybe other species that were doing trade. So it was like, wait, because I'm from, like, my family is from Brittany, and you have tons of small islands that are only connected to the continent through like ferries. And when it's like stormy, you just can't go on the ferry. So it is a lifeline. So I would expect it to be the same for those communities. And yeah, people were just bringing a lot of stories about
Yeah.
old Earth and stuff like that. Because he pretty much dreams about seeing old Earth. That's what you told me as well.
He was raised on stories of old Earth from his family. Like, his family are one of these people who like to trace their lineage all the way back to the arcs that carried humanity from Earth back to the start. Like, his family kind of traced themselves back to whether or not that's true or not. Is kind of lost to history, but they like to claim that they were traced back to the original arc that first made first contact. Whether or not that's true again, lost to history.
Is it the one that was rescued by a safari?
Yes,
By
one.
tourists doing a safari?
Yes, that one. The number of it escapes me at the moment. I can't remember which number it was, but I think it was 17. Not sure.
We will have to check. It's in the blog post if you
It's in
want
the
to
blog
check,
post.
guys.
Go onto the website and read the blog post, because that's where all the things are written
Okay.
down, and not everything stays in this head. But yeah.
So he was pretty much driven by Wanderlust and getting away from his farming destiny, and so he didn't want to stay and farm potatoes for all his life.
Yeah, like, kid wanted to see the world, and when he met other species that were not like one-offs, it completely blew his mind. Kid had never seen anything like this before, and he absolutely fell in love with the universe and all of these new people and their strange looks and their new ways, and sort of he went, oh my god, the universe is so much bigger and cooler and crazier than I could ever have thought it was. I'm never going home.
Because like when he did see strangers bringing cargo to his community, it was mostly humanoids. It wasn't like
largely,
other
yeah.
kinds of people.
Like he'll have seen a couple of folks that were non-humans, but not many. Like, the vast majority of the people that Jeffries met growing up were humans. It was only really sort of on the ship that he stowed away on that he kind of met his first non-human up close.
Because what would you say is the species specialized for, like cargo transporting and stuff like that? Like, what would be the main employment base for Sligger and Sons?
The main employment, I mean, Slagthor and Sons employs a lot of humans, largely because, again, humans reproduce quite quickly compared to other species, and
we're the bunnies at the galaxy.
there's lots of it. There's lots of us, and we're fucking everywhere. We're the cockroaches of the goddamn galaxy. Like, damn it, we've got humans again. No, it's not quite that bad, but humans are everywhere. You'll probably meet a fair few. Again, cargo transport it's not rocket science. It's not complicated. Anyone can do it. So it's less about sort of species and more about economic background. When you end up on a Slagthor ship, or at least a Slagthor ship like Emmer's Pride.
Okay. All right. Well, I think that is it. I think we've done a good 360 of Sully and Jeffries' upbringing and the kind of species they could encounter.
Yeah.
So it gives you a little bit more of character development into like how they are and how like their reactions in the game will make a lot more sense for you if you know that bit of information.
Yeah.
But yeah. All right. Well, again, it was a pleasure as always, Jay. Until next time. Bye bye.
Bye bye.